Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the press conference of Jack Draper. First of all, congrats, Jack, to your first ATP Masters 1000 final. And also next week, you will be in top 10 for the first time at PIF ATP rankings. What are the emotions running through your mind?
Yeah, I feel incredible. Obviously, to beat Carlos in this sort of stage in the tournament, on that court, I've watched the top players in the world play on that court for many years now, and it feels amazing, honestly. Both those things, and yeah, just obviously I've got one more to go tomorrow, so all my sort of feelings and emotions are on that, but obviously very proud of myself and the achievement.
Congrats, Jack. In his press conference, Carlos said he partly, at least, attributes his loss to the fact that before the match he was worried about playing you. Do you take that as a huge compliment?
Yeah, of course. I before I play Carlos, obviously there's always doubts as well for every player. Every player I play at this level, I'm always fearful I'm going to lose, and I think that gives me a big competitive edge. Is that I feel on edge all the time because I know how well these guys play, and especially when you're playing top players in the world, belief is a big thing. A lot of times I'm sure players go on court and they believe they can't win against top players. I've played Carlos a few times now, and um, I've watched him on the TV the whole of this week, and I've thought that he's playing incredible tennis. But I did believe that I could at least cause him some problems today with the way I've been playing. And then obviously at the start of the match, I was a bit. I was expecting him to come out playing incredible, but obviously there was a few errors here and there, and his energy was a bit low. But it was just a crazy match. But yeah, it's a big compliment. Obviously that, and testament to obviously the way I've been playing.
Given how strange the match was in terms of the scoreline, how did you manage to keep your focus so controlled to be able to come back from losing the second set? And what did you say to yourself in between the second and the third set?
Yeah, like I said, obviously the first set came out. I think his energy was a bit low, a couple of errors here and there, and obviously that carried on to the first game, the second as well. And then I didn't get that game, and then I did feel like, all of a sudden the occasion. I feel like, I've obviously had a lot of different experiences. This is a new one for me. Obviously a big match for myself. I knew that if I won, I'd be top 10 and playing a semi-final against Carlos. And sometimes that makes you feel certain things. I definitely felt like my energy really dropped, and I kind of felt like a bit lethargic, and my legs stopped working. And obviously that's not ideal when you're wanting to really go for it and stuff. But like I said, all new experiences for me. And then obviously after that set went away, I went to the toilet and just kind of looked at myself in the mirror and was like, need to really get my my stuff together. And just there's no time to be tired. There's no time to be sort of thinking about being down here. There's lots of tennis still to be played. He's obviously feeling stuff himself, and I just had to really knuckle down and make sure I brought lots of energy to the third, and that was it really. Maybe.
Jack, you'll put a lefty back in the top 10 when you get in there. Are you surprised they're not more? And how much do you think your leftiness is an advantage for you in your mind as you play these big players?
Yeah, I'm sure Shelton will be in the top 10 soon. I think he's an incredible player. Obviously, Shapovalov's been there, and he's back playing some really high level stuff. There's still a lot, and Humbert as well. And there's still some really good left-handers about. I think weirdly enough, my leftiness is a big plus, but I think the fact I'm actually a right-hander, so I think that really helps me because my forehand's been improving all the time. My forehand's naturally the shot where, I'm not as comfortable. It's always been my backhand, which has been the shot like I can hit with my eyes closed. I really have no problem against any player with their forehand into my backhand. Usually that's something where players struggle, but with myself, that's a big strength of mine. So I think the mix of that is a big advantage.
Yeah, Jack, well done. So in the third set, after you did knuckle down, there's been instances like every tennis player has where in those moments you don't feel it. What got you over the line, even as he was surging again? You felt that you wobbled there on trying to serve it out the first time. And did you have another talk with yourself?
I mean, I felt like I'd put so much energy into just trying to get myself back to mentally, going about things the right way. It's always tough in tennis matches, and when you have a big momentum shift against you to then come back and find a way to sort of get yourself back to being operating on a good standard again. There was the game at 4-2. I kind of put a lot of energy into trying to break that game. Obviously, I think we got to juice, and then he played some really good points to go, add up a few times. And then I obviously got over the line on that game, and I think that push kind of took a lot out of myself. So even at the change of ends, I was kind of like, I felt quite tired when I went out for 5-3, just more on an emotional level, just because I tried so hard to get that break. And then he's obviously come out with some good shots, and that game went, and I knew that come 5-4 I'd be feeling better. And I think from the first point of 5-4, I remember I lost the point, but I played a really, I was a lot of energy. Like I missed the forehand, but it was with good intent, and yeah, like I felt good that I was going to be able to close it out at 5-4.
Jack, can you describe what it felt like when that match point was completed? You were obviously ecstatic. What was the feeling like, and then transferring that and that sort of emotion and the mental state into the next match against Rune?
Yeah, I mean, lots of things: relief, joy. Just a huge feeling of, I think, emotion. I've been through a lot in my few years with playing, and especially the last ones with some injuries, and a lot of hard work to sort of always try and get back to a decent level. And it was my goal at the end of last year that I've obviously had some good results, but I want to really achieve some consistency and get to the point where I'm pushing these top players in the world, in the biggest tournaments, and that's the goal of mine. So to obviously come through the match today, that means so much to me, especially obviously against a player of Carlos's caliber. And then I'm looking forward to tomorrow already. I'll make sure I look after my recovery, not thinking about too much of, that's the thing with tennis. You got to get over wins like today, and all my focus and energy is on making sure that I do all the right things to give myself the best chance to win the tournament tomorrow.
Congrats, Jack. Well done. Obviously, you've had some great runs, including in New York, but this is something else. Can you just talk about how you've come to this point? Has it been largely physical? Are there some techniques, mental side? And secondly, could you tell us the story of how a right-handed player became a lefty?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the back end of last year, obviously after I won my first title really in Stuttgart, I started to feel more confident in myself, and I think a big part of being a young player is feeling like you belong. Obviously, going to the changing rooms and you're seeing all the players you've watched on TV and all the players you admire, and you kind of feel like am I good enough to be here? And so winning a couple of titles last year and making the semis of the US, that really helped me to, believe that I could be right up there at the top of the game as well, and making top 20 at the end of last year. And then carrying on into this year, building confidence in Melbourne in my body, winning those 5-setters, making a final in Doha. I feel like the consistency of what I'm trying to do on the tennis court is improving all the time at the highest level, and that's given me so much confidence. So I'd say it's just kind of experience at the highest level against the top players, and the confidence I'm getting from that, which is helping me to get to this point. In terms of the right-handed stuff, I don't know. I think I write right-handed. I kick a ball right-footed. I do everything right-handed. So I think when I was younger, I used to hit on a wall, and I just picked up with a left hand, and that's the way I've always done it. I could never throw with my left hand until I was about 15. I had to really work on it, which is weird because of my serve, but I don't know. Just a weird guy.
Jack, just early in the third set, the situation with the double bounce, that was a big break for you.
Yeah.
It took a lot of presence of mind to kind of stick with it and get the full process in terms of the 2 reviews and everything.
Yeah.
How do you see that? Are you happy with where the rule is? And I know you had a tough one with that double bounce in the past. So.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I felt like, obviously we do have the review here, and that's a really good thing. It was a tough situation because obviously felt like I got the ball up, and then also I know that Carlos had only just got to it and he'd missed it wide. So I asked Mohammed to look at the video review, and it was clear that I got it up. But then obviously it was the fact that I don't think Carlos really had a good play on the ball, and he missed it. And then so asked him to review that, to see what he thought of that. And then the only other thing after that was I asked Carlos at the net whether he felt like Mohammed, when he interrupted, whenever that was during the point, affected Carlos's shot, because he missed it, but he might have missed it because he was, someone might have said Mohammed might have called it and that put him off. But he said it didn't. So I think the call was right. I think it's really good for tennis that we've got the video reviews. Obviously, I went through it at the end of last year with Felix, and yeah, it was a tough decision, and tough to not have the video review to see in that moment. So I think it was good that we had it here. But yeah, I think it was the right call.
It was important for your sense of fair play to check with Carlos and see if
Yeah.
it was cool.
No, of course it was. I mean, obviously at the end of last year with the whole Felix stuff, I mean, I was getting called a cheat and all this sort of stuff. But I mean, there was no review, there was no stuff. So yeah, of course, like it is something I try and do. I try and be fair and try and make the right calls. And yeah, if Carlos would have said to me that it would have affected his shot and what have you, then of course I would have replayed the point.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone. We'll see you after
Thank you.
the doubles
Thank you.
final, the doubles